Athletes and fans around the world, welcome to another Primetime Muscle. I'm Tim Wilkins. So happy to be with you. So honored to be joined by the one and only, the real deal, Chris
I'll
Corbett.
dress up classy for you guys today. How you guys doing out there?
Very classy. And Tara Kilkenny, hello, sir.
Doing great. I actually enjoy when Chris dresses a little bit more classic. It makes me feel more human. You know, when he comes in all dolled up with Versace, Gucci, you know.
That's enough.
It kind of sends a message, Tim, to you and I. We're blue-collar workers, and he's the rich sports athlete.
I feel like when I'm dressed like this, I feel like I'm the bouncer that should be technically.
I just got to drip, man.
You drip?
You want me not to drip? If I'm going to drip, I got to drip right.
You asked me if I had any drip today, and it was from my shake, from the shaker bottle that came down off that little flip knob.
Yeah.
So I had it all over my nose.
Then you drip.
That's all the drip I've got.
So Chris, the drip is the swagger?
Yeah.
We're so out of
on the bed, turn my swag on. That's how I get up in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Take a look in the mirror, say what's up.
God bless Melissa.
Yeah.
God bless her soul.
What's up?
She deserves an award.
Well, let's talk about some other ladies that have swagger today. We're talking about the rise of female bodybuilding, and one in particular that, of course, when you're the gold standard of your sport, that would be Andrea Shaw, four-time Miss Olympia, four-time Rising Phoenix champion, with no sign of fading anytime soon, gents.
No sign. I think, there's always, room to even improve. I can still say, even with the last year being her best year, she could still improve more.
Well, she and I talked about that, actually. We talk about this a lot with you. You said I could take her to another level. And she and I talked about it. She said, I'm ready to go out there and see what he knows.
Yes. I think, I would just like to build more of, I would say, depth to the physique. I think that's the last piece that she would need to get to the level of what people expect of her. And I think doing so, you got to pay a close attention to that. The serratus, the latissimus dorsi from the front here. You got to build that up. Don't just rely on the great arms, the great attributes that you were born with. Take it to the next level. Make sure all your posing and everything is correctly from your toes up into your presentation of your face, the control of the body, control of the face, all of it.
The ladies have a delicate balance and a challenge as well. When you think going from bikini to figure to women's physique to bodybuilding, they each have their own parameters. But even at the top, you would think it's just not an unlimited hit the gas pedal and go get huge, get ripped. There's still got to be that air of femininity, and Andrea strikes that like nobody in a long time.
Tim, that's a great point. One of the reasons female bodybuilding has rejuvenated, has revived, is because the person who's winning is somebody that's captivating. She is very feminine. She's very beautiful. She poses with a very delicate manner, and that's very attractive to mainstream people. So she has guided the direction in the right direction. If we didn't have Andrea Shaw, maybe female bodybuilding would not be as popular as it is right now. And I was at the Rising Phoenix last year, and we had plenty of categories. We had pro bikini, we have a lot of the amateur competitors. When it was time for the female bodybuilders to come on stage, and the stakes were 50 grand, right? You could just tell the audience moved in closer to watch that. And that was such a cool moment for me, because for the longest time there was a bit of discrimination against them, right? And I saw an excitement in the female bodybuilding category, and I attribute that to the people who are leading the charge, and that's Andrea Shaw. If you have a category where the winner, the Olympia champion, is not charismatic, is not popular, that puts a burden on the whole category. Andrea Shaw has done the opposite. She's benefited the entire category.
Now, we're going to look at some pictures of Andrea, talk about her physique, but Chris especially, and you're a historian, so I want to run some names past you guys, because with the women, I do love the evolution of women's bodybuilding, and I really started being aware of it back in the Sharon Bruneau days to the Corey Eversons. In the middle of that, I had a huge crush on Hani Van Aken, and then you, the little powerhouse, and then you move into the era where you had Linda Murray, you had Vicky Gates, Iris Kyle, and there's been that really huge evolution of physiques.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, you got to think there's a lot more information about training, a lot more, focus on the glute training, the leg training, just kind of switching around from the men's physique guys to the women. But
no offense taken.
No offense taken. I think they're trying to correct that now, right? But yeah, I think the women, I think they're really. I mean, when you work with a female athlete, they develop quickly. Like that's one thing I could say is you can see the changes from week to week. What I think is a lot faster than the men for some reason.
Tim, you bring up a good point. Obviously, Rachel McClish and a lot of these great competitors.
Rachel.
I think Linda Murray was incredible. I think she was the most prominent. I think maybe right there with Kim Krzyzewski, the conditioning became a bit too hard. And that kind of turned off mainstream. We like to see the guys really shredded to the bone, right? Milos would say it can't be just a striated glute, but I mean the entire body. But I think with Kim Krzyzewski, she was too hard, and some people got turned off by it, right? But you still got to appreciate her effort. She won, and she did deserve. But it's one of the categories that we lost some of the popularity, and I think it was the emphasis right there on extreme conditioning on women. Now, Andrea Shaw doesn't have to be that condition. On the contrary, I thought one of her best years was when she had the yellow, and she wasn't as conditioned as the previous years, and it made her look rounder and fuller and very beautiful and very feminine. It's good to come back. It's good to come back to have these girls have an opportunity to participate, and it's a good lesson as well.
Well, you have the opportunity as judges to guide that criteria. You set the criteria, but you reinforce it by awarding the people that look according to those parameters.
Yeah.
So here's Andrea rocking the parameters for women's bodybuilding.
So, she's conditioned, but, right off the bat, you're not seeing striated glutes, right? You're not seeing deep lines on the hamstrings. There's a bit of a Christmas tree, but it's not that crazy detail. And that's what I like about Andrea Shaw. Does she have one thing on her physique which I would tell her, especially on the front double biceps, and I told her and Sydney Gillen, is the lats are a bit high, and that's what Chris was talking about, right? She's got the arms, she's got the legs, but you can see here the lats are just a bit high. If she could just lower the lats, right? I don't know how, I'm not a coach. Chris will tell us how to do that, right? But if she can have the lats starting a little bit from a lower insertion, she would be more formidable on this front double biceps. But overall, we're talking about the likes of Linda Murray right here.
Yes, I like how she's hard but super feminine. I think she's got the right amount of face fat. Do you have face fat?
Face fat?
Yeah, her face fat is not so drawn to where she's just looking like,
Anybody that needs face fat, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Call me, I can sell chunks and chunks. My wife calls me triple chin.
So you trained triple chin a couple of months ago when you were over there.
I did that. So she has the right amount of fat distributed throughout her body, but the shape is there. This is God-given shape. She's like, the posing can improve even more so, and then situate the quads more so, front and back. But like you said, if you can get a little bit more thickness through that front lat area, and just watch it. Don't get too much of an imbalance, because you have the powerful arms, but you can't have so much powerful arms if you come down below there and the lats are not, thickish or being imbalanced with that.
Here's something you talk about all the time, sorry, Tarek, with turning those knuckles in a little bit more on the back double bicep and even on the front to get that peak to pop. There they are right there, and that is just textbook.
Exactly.
And Chris, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Tarek.
What kind of exercise does she need to do to get the lat insertions a little bit lower? Nautilus pullover, what?
A lot of it. Nautilus pullover would be great. There's the stiff arm pullover that you can lean over and get a good connection with those lats, building up the serratus through there, thickening that up. The dumbbell pullover is another one I like to, because a lot of women can't use the pullover because they're not big enough frame for it to fit it correctly. So I like to take women over with the dumbbell pullover, and that's my staple. That's what I start with.
So as we look at this, though, so much, it really goes back to what you both said. On this side chest, you look at the density and the thickness of the muscle, the conditioning, it's all striking that perfect balance of face fat because I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying.
In the sport, we call it the death face. When you walk backstage, you see guys getting ready for weigh-ins and stuff, and they're just drawn in, and you think, oh, he's ready. But you don't necessarily want that on a woman.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons their body fat's a little higher at competition than a male bodybuilder.
And also the stage presence. Like, don't be up there with a frowny face, and I just got in the second call, and the judge didn't call me the first call out, so now I got a little attitude when I'm trying to present myself. Like, all that takes away from your physique, and and thinking of the composition of her physique, if you think about Angie Yo next to her, is like rip to the core, to the bone, head to toe. So you're a judge. How does that strike you when you're going to judge this woman here against Angie Yo?
You know what? We're going to keep that. We're going to put that. We're going to come back. We've got Angie Yo coming up in a couple of segments. We've got a couple other bodybuilders in the women's bodybuilding that are also marching their way up the food chain. And, we always say, update pictures are one thing, but it's not over till you get on stage under the lights. And Tarek has his say. And we'll see what that say is on a couple other bodybuilders and Angie Yo when we come right back. We're back with more Primetime Muscle, still talking about the rise of female bodybuilding. And we're going to start things off. We mentioned it a second ago. You asked Tarek a great question about the woman who has taken that #2 spot the last 2 years in a row with the Miss Olympia. That is Angela Yo. Guys, amazing physique. She came out of nowhere 2 years ago.
So her debut at the Olympia was in 2022, which she placed second. Her background is powerlifting, and she decided to switch to bodybuilding. A lot of people do that. They start lifting weights and they fall in love with bodybuilding or bench press or weightlifting, but that's her background. What's her calling card is conditioning. She has very good conditioning. She is a smaller bodybuilder than, Natalia Korableva, Andrea Shaw, and some of the other competitors. Do I like her conditioning? Absolutely. Because a lot of times, what we're asking as judges, you could have been a little bit tighter. But in her case, she's so good with conditioning that I think at times, if she came in a little bit fuller, she would be better. Okay, she's exposing people on conditioning, but at the same time, she's squeezing it so much, she's losing a little bit of fullness, and now the gap is increasing between her and Andrea Shaw and some of the bigger girls. Still, second best in the world, but if she were to attack Andrea Shaw, it would be, hey, Andrea is not as conditioned as you and she's beating you, let's try to come in just a bit fuller.
So that was the delicate balance the last couple of years, and you were coming up against the Margie Martins, the Hella Trevinos, who else? There was a couple of the true standards. I'm trying to think of a couple of the other big
Myla
names.
Ash.
Myla Ash. That were the top 5 show after show after show. They're the speed bump or the roadblock to you making it up to that second place.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing, I mean, to be critical, I mean, don't get mad at me, come for me, Angie. I'm just saying, you are the top percentile. I don't even know what that percentile work out to in the world. So that's off rip. That's who you are. So the thing here, if you're going to judge her against Andrea does have the dominant area here. This is like her all day. It's just really small. Angie is not so proportioned like she is, and I think that's the only thing that's gonna make the big difference between her and the champion. So the Andrea does not deal with that, but Angie does. The midsections are not so pretty as the champion.
Now that's a great shot, though, Chris, right there.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying, this is going to be just like this.
Yeah.
You can improve that with what? You got intramuscular fat or something like that you can get a little bit fuller look. But the champ has the frame. So that's the frame.
We're always asking to help the folks that not just follow the sport, but follow it to be the sport. So there are certain things you'd be doing for your body to just put on mass that are going to thicken that midsection. What should she avoid so she keeps this taper?
I would practice it a lot. I think she practices on her posing a lot, utilizing those obliques. Compressing them in, making that waist as small as possible.
Is there a deadlift? Is there something that she should avoid, some kind of compound exercise that's going to thicken her?
I don't think really thicken her. I think she's done all that stuff throughout her, being a power lifter. She's done that time and time again. But I think for the most part, the way she poses and the way Tarek said, some of that intramuscular fat is going to keep that muscle belly a little bit fuller than going down, cutting so hard into that intramuscular fat.
Now, Tarek, here's another one, Lavina Barros.
So she is from Brazil. I saw her turning pro. Actually, I judged her in 2018. Yeah, 2018. She was a women's physique competitor. She was very raw, coming up the ranks. She switched to women's bodybuilding. What's interesting about this competitor is she's gained size, but if you look at her genetics, if you look at her lines, it's similar to who?
Andrea Shaw.
Andrea Shaw. Absolutely, Tim Wilkins. And coincidentally, she's wearing the same color bikini. So you have different physiques, right? You have Angela Yo, a little bit smaller with great conditioning. You have Natalia Kovaleva. She's got the size, right? If there's one competitor in women's bodybuilding that can come in there, hit a front double bicep, and presents beautiful lines like Andrea Shaw, is Lavina Barros. So she won the Romania Muscle Fest, beating a competitor that was a lot bigger, Anastasia Korableva. But I think if she hits a front double biceps next to Andrea Shaw, a lot of people will say, ooh.
There's some future.
Say, ooh.
Now, Chris, okay, so it's professional jealousy. So I look at these ladies and I follow their bios, getting ready for the Olympia and some of these other shows, and they start training. And I coach girls powerlifting, and they come and they just get so excited by it. They start putting on mass. But say you're a bikini or a figure competitor, and you just outgrow your division. And then you move into women's physique, and you outgrow women's physique, and you're in women's bodybuilding. I guess I'm just jealous. I'm guessing just jealous that they're constantly improving, that there's that much growth, and they're so raw when it comes to just hard training.
I think you see that more often in the women's divisions, because they start out as, a lot of them start out as a bikini competitor, going on to figure, on to physique, and then into the bodybuilding. I think that's, like I was telling you before, a lot of the women athletes, they improve so quickly and adjusted to different workouts and workout stresses and intensities you put on the body, the women categories can move up fast.
Tim, I've been judging men and women, and women are 10 times more competitive than men. Women hate losing to other women. When a woman loses to another woman, she goes on that other woman's Instagram and she takes 74 pictures of that woman and sends me feedback saying, how can I lose to this person? They know that woman's name, they know where she works out, they know when she graduated from high school, okay? And when women get in their mind that they're going to win something or do something, you're talking about primal instinct. It's just like the jungle. The lion, he might protect, but the lioness is the one hunting.
That's the hunting.
The lioness, try to get close to a cub, even if you're a big lion. The lioness will tell you, don't even come close to it. Women are very, very competitive. And I'm sure you see it, your weightlifting, you might have 2-3 guys going, oh, coach, this is heavy. You get an angry woman, and she'll lift that. You know what I mean?
All day. So, as we look at this lioness right here, guys, she wants to improve, obviously. Where would we start? The back width looks phenomenal. Back thickness. Where are we at here, Chris?
I would like to see more detail.
Yeah.
And that's where Andrea Shaw is going to beat someone like her, is with the detail. And then, let's just face it, Andrea's a Ferrari, if you will. So these girls got to do the little things.
Do not call him Pinto, okay? You're going to get in serious trouble.
I would not say that. I didn't say that.
Okay.
And I did not make another distinction. I'll stop it right there. But yeah, if she had that same fine line between the brachialis, the biceps, and the triceps, all that stuff would matter when you're going to go against the champion. And you need total detail through the hamstrings, everything like that. Even though this front double bicep is definitely probably our strongest shot, I still got to say, just make sure when you go against someone like Andrea, make sure all those lines in from head to toe, everything is right.
Tim, I think that she's holding just a film of water here, okay?
Yeah.
You can just tell here that despite the fact that she's got amazing quads, she's got the hamstrings, she just has a film of water that's preventing us from seeing the separation on the glutes. So she's about 1 week out. What holds water is fat. So she's about 1 week out of doing some serious cardio, morning, afternoon, cutting down your carbs to come in close to Andrea Shaw's conditioning. But the potential is there.
So that's another one, the competitors. I'm not talking about Lavina, I'm talking about just the average competitor says, oh, I need to pull water. You need to pull fat. You need to pull some cardio.
I tell everybody, I'm just holding water, okay? I'm just 2 days out from winning the Olympia.
I saw, getting ready this morning, I think I'm about 40 weeks out.
Yeah.
40 weeks out.
Well, with the suit, you look great, Chris.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Well, we have 2 more as we talk about the rise of female bodybuilding. 2 more ladies to cover, and we mentioned them a minute ago, but we'll get a good look at them and compare their physiques when we come back.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
All right, 2 more of the top athletes in women's bodybuilding. Guys, it is Natalia Kovaleva and Anastasia Korableva. Yes. Well, that won't get us through. Won't get us through life.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
You went to Palmdale High School. I went to the jungles of Brazil Elementary School. Not bad.
We're both a product of the California public school system.
That's
so
right.
Not bad.
That's right.
So these 2 ladies are making huge strides, and they carry a lot of quality size. Let's start with Natalia Kovaleva, and she was I guess the word, she was shocking at weigh-ins and prejudge.
Big clavicle bones. She's got muscle. You know, the side chest is great. She's got everything to really make an impact, and that's why she got a first call out at the Mr. Olympia. She can outsize Andrea Shaw. She has more mass than Andrea Shaw. After the show, I spoke to Natalia, and she was very honest. She said, I know I was good from the front, but I need to improve from the back. And yes, that was the issue. If Natalia can get more back width, more back thickness, and come in more condition, man, she's going to be a sight to be seen.
Yes, I think she needs more finesse, Terry. I mean, she finessed this physique, and I'm talking about from walking, from the time you hit the curtain, hit the stage, and from the time you go through your poses and back in line and then back off the stage. 100% professionality, presentation, the facial expressions. If you don't get that final call with the top two this time, keep that same energy that you started with the whole time you're on the stage, and present that and show the judges that you're ready to take that next step.
Judges notice that, don't they, Tarek?
Absolutely. I was just on the Menace podcast, and we were talking about Derek Lunsford. He was not posing with the confidence that he should have been, even though he won the Olympia. I always tell competitors, pose as if you already won the show. Imagine I told you, you already won your men's physique competition. You just need to go there and show your face.
Yeah, I'd be a happy dog.
Your entire body, your entire demeanor would change. You can see guys, once they win the show, that the energy comes to them. And then you see them hesitant because they're looking at other competitors. They're like, oh my God, I'm posing. And everything changes, their motion changes. They're not as confident. So you're absolutely right. We notice, and like Chris says, it shows in your entire physique.
Well, she's someone as well that has that upper body that could continue to develop down below. This looks great down here, though. The hamstrings look great. You're right, though, Chris. We just we need some more detail mid to low back. Spread that width out.
You want to be a human anatomy chart. That's the object form. First and foremost, a balanced physique. Get the definition in the back, the sartorius muscles, the teres majors, teres minors, all that stuff needs to be really prevalent. The trapezius throughout here, the latissimus dorsi. You get all of this, nice and crispy, and get that. You can take a little bit more off the waist in some of these poses. You can improve. Getting more connection with that back to a bicep. Right here, how you're folding in, I know it's like in between the shots, and she probably spread out a little bit wider than that, but making sure you get the nice pressure on the lats from elbow to elbow in these shots. And like you say, even coming around more in that side chest. You don't want to be just perfectly sideways to the crowd. You want to utilize both shoulders in each shot.
On this pose, though, you can't just get leaner to show those fine lines and details. You've got to have the mass under there when you get lean.
And there's development, and that comes from the training and positioning your body and the stress you're putting on the body and the different muscle groups throughout your whole body.
Well, let's look at one more. Let's look at Anastasia Korobleva. And she's not missing any mass here, fellas.
No.
Man.
This is like I don't know, if Tom Platz was a female, I think, or I would say who do you think, Lee Priest? I don't know.
Oh, no. Go back. Kathy LaFrancois Priest.
Yeah, but thicker.
But she had that,
she had
blocky,
that body.
full.
Yeah, for sure. Those arms, and I don't know how tall she is, but she's thick.
Listen, as a head judge, I have seen a lot of physiques, and I was the head judge at the Romania Muscle Fest. When this girl came on stage, I internally said to myself, wow, that is a lot of mass. Look at those legs. Tim, you've never had legs like this.
Okay. I'd move up to classic if I had those legs.
She's got the arms. She's got the back. Talk about it here. Okay? This is like the female version of Rubiel Mosquera right here. Look at this. A lot of mass, and she poses beautifully. She's got the smile. She's got, she's captivating on stage. Again, after the show, I came to talk to her, congratulate her. She lost to Levina Barros, right? Levina had better lines, posed a little bit better. She took second, and she straight up said, I could have been tighter, right? And I said, yes. So if she comes in tighter with this mess, God bless America, Romania, God bless the entire world. We're about to see something we've never seen.
Chris, we talk about the legs, the arms, far left. Look at that shot.
Yes, you see, and I like how you see she's flexing all the way through the triceps, all the way through the elbow on the bottom half. A lot of times when people do a front of a bicep, they just focus on the bicep itself and not flexing through and creating that whole cut and leveraged out muscle, etched out muscle there. And, she's a specimen for sure. I think if she, also worked on some more shape. If you could more shape to everything, which probably comes with her being a little bit leaner, then you'll get a little bit more shape out of these arms and to the back to a bicep, to the brachialis in that area. And
now, guys, just put a first call out at whatever show. And you got Andrea Shaw right there, right? To the right, you got this girl here, Natalia Korableva. Then to the left, you got Anastasia Korableva. Then to the left, you got Natalia Kovaleva. Then on the other side, you got Levina Barros with a great shape. Then you got Angela Yo right there, and Andrea is here. Andrea is very dominant. But all these girls are one modification away from getting close to the champ. And I asked Andrea Shaw at an Olympia Live, are these competitors a threat to you, Natalia Kovaleva and Anastasia Korableva? And she looked straight to the camera and she said, everyone is a threat, Tarek.
I remember.
And one of the things I love about Andrea, she finishes the Olympia and thinks about the next Olympia. And she's already blueprinting, she's already back on the cardio, she's already ready. She has that one meal and says, back to work, because she knows ladies like this are just chomping. They want that title, they want to move up.
I think she can be dominant for years to come, but I also think one of these girls is going to make a hard move on her.
Let's think about that, because now, Levina Barros won that show, so she's Olympia qualified.
Angela is qualified.
Angela's qualified. She was second. What about Natalia Kovaleva was third, so
she's not qualified. Alcione, which we're going to cover her within the next couple weeks. She is a female bodybuilder from Brazil. She took third. She's qualified. So who's not qualified here yet is Natalia Kovaleva and Anastasia Korableva. All the other competitors are qualified for the 2024 Miss Olympia.
Yeah, how far does that go back, the qualifications? Is it from the...
So Romania Muscle Fest, I believe, was the first show after the Olympia where they started qualifying.
It was, and then you had Romania. And Prague, and then they had one other show after that, and then I think we went dark for a couple of weeks. Well, they've got some interesting shows to see who qualifies for this. I know one that I look forward to emceeing this year. I believe the Linda Murray in Atlanta is a prime spot. We had some of the top champions there. I believe that's where Mila Ash made her big debut, or not debut, her big requalification last year. Guys, we got to wrap this, but there's so much to talk about with women's bodybuilding. Chris?
Next time, we want to see, it's going to be a big bash this next Olympia. Andrea Shaw is going to be bringing it. I can't wait to see the girls making their move up into making it to the next level.
I got to jump out of this real quick. Which category did Marguerite qualify for? Was that?
Oh yeah, she was physique.
Women's physique. Okay, so she'll be debuting this year. She got her pro card.
Yes, she will be debuting, right? Margarita, Maggie.
One of the lead campers on Camp Cormier. All right, Tarek, any other insights we want to share? It was a good episode.
I believe that in this current Olympia that we're going to have, one of these competitors we just spoke to will challenge Andrea Shaw. I think we have so much potential there, and one of them is going to make a move.
Well, we shall see who makes a move, and it's going to be interesting this 60th anniversary of the Olympia, and it's always fun to see who qualifies. We're going to be keeping you up to date throughout the Primetime Muscle episodes. As always, Tim Wilkins, the one and only Chris Cormier.
That's what's up.
The real deal. And Tarek El Gindi. Guys, we appreciate you joining us. As always, like, share, subscribe, and keep joining us. You got cardio to do. We're perfect for that. Primetime Muscle. We'll see you next time.